Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Homology Podcast, a weekly conversation with your HVAC team here at Vertex Mechanical. We're glad you've taken a few moments as part of your day to laugh with us, maybe learn something new, and be inspired. Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Homology Podcast. Don, you are one of the original creators of the Homology Podcast.
I am. That is true.
And here you are. This is Don Mumal, our operations manager.
I
and
am.
Of course, you're getting used to
Vince.
we did this already. This is the cue when I point. You say your name. Okay. We're still working on this. But we are glad that you're back. Last week we did a Stump the Yunt episode, and this week we have Don here. Now, Don oversees a lot of the operations here at Vertex, including some of the service side. And so we're actually going to chat about a little piece of service that we care for all the time, and that is filters. Filters are in pretty much every system that involves forced air.
That is correct.
And we were talking even a little bit 2 weeks ago when Nate was here. We were talking about the difference between a filter and the air scrubber and that kind of stuff. But I have to ask, before we talk about what they do and why this even matters on a podcast, I'm convinced that at some point, since you guys have been in this business long enough, that you pulled out an air filter and had a little bit of a shock value of like, what am I pulling out of this space? Like, do you have a story? Do you have it?
Sure, yeah. A while back, we'd pulled out an air filter and it looked like there was a cat in it. I mean, the person obviously had a cat, and that cat's hair was all over that filter.
It was just like covered.
It was covered.
Oh,
It's
my
actually
goodness.
disgusting.
Yeah, I can see that happening though, for sure. I've seen in some of the pictures of when we do duct cleaning, you think there's a cat like just that's running
Right,
back and forth
right.
in that duct back and forth, you know. So that's, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you, Vince? Any type of?
So mine's actually the opposite. Like some people, they forget to take it out of the package. Yes.
Oh,
So I've already
yeah.
done a service call, and it was still in the plastic.
Oh no.
And they just didn't think about it.
That
So
was
it
great
froze
for
up
airflow,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, so of course, and they did it that in the evening, and it was an evening call. So there's nothing worse as a tech to have to
Oh, my
charge them an
goodness.
emergency phone call, the service
Right.
call to go out.
To go out there.
And do nothing more than take the plastic off the filter and put it back in again.
So there was something that was not working properly, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
So it froze up. It just wasn't letting any air through.
Oh my.
Created all kinds of trouble. Yeah. So
That's a good one.
Yeah. So it was kind of the opposite. But I've seen, his stories are pretty popular. I mean,
Yeah.
you see them all the time.
I'm
Yep.
sure. Well, recently, we had a Vertex team at my house, and we were doing some training actually. And one of the unknown sales team members, who happened to be here 2 weeks ago on our podcast, said to me, "Hey, Josh, just let me know when you want to get a real air filter for your system." I said, "How dare you? This thing is only like a year old. Like, it's fantastic." And he said, "They don't all do the same thing the same way."
Right.
Which was a little bit of a revelation to me, because I've just been buying like the 1-inch pleated air filters with the MERV rating on them forever. And I kind of was stunned by I have something new to learn here. And you work with the service team where they're pulling these things in and out all the time, and that means that they're seeing different sizes. So let's take a few minutes to talk to those that are listening and watching about what makes the filter important, but also then the distinguishing attributes between some of them that make them better or more effective or more useful.
So one question before he gets into that.
Yeah.
Josh,
Vince.
Mr. Homeowner.
Yeah,
So you said about MERV rating.
I did.
What do you know about MERV rating?
That apparently when the number goes up, it does a more effective job at trapping particulates in smaller sizes.
There you go. Good.
Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct.
So that's very good. Good
Okay,
answer.
Thank you.
You are right.
Okay, so that's why I always buy like MERV 320.
Yep. Right.
Okay, because I don't want the dust that's coming off of the cornfields or whatever. Like,
Right.
I want it all to be trapped, and
Yeah.
there is no MERV 320 that I'm aware
Right.
of.
No, that's right.
But I'm looking for one that's going to do an effective job at getting the tiniest particulates trapped in my filter so that it's not being blown through my whole house. Okay, so that's why I do it. And I thought, I must have a great system already. I put in these great filters. And then this team member says, that's not doing as good job as something else could. Talk to me, Don.
So what did you have? That's what I want to
Well,
know.
yeah, so
do
I
you have a
decided-
pleated or do you have a
Yeah,
fiberglass
I have a
filter? Because there's
pleated-
two.
I have a pleated 1-inch filter, so it's got like the zigzags going
Yep,
down through
yep.
it,
Yep,
like
yep.
cardboard around the outside, and you shove it in, and a couple months later you pull it out, and you do that process over again.
Right.
And he suggested that there might be something better.
So there is. So there's a couple things. There's a fiberglass one that you can see through,
Okay.
which allows you to have great airflow, but
Yep.
it actually doesn't catch everything.
Okay.
Then you could have a 1-inch pleated, which does catch things, and you talked about the MERV
Sure.
rating. And then I'm assuming that Nate was talking. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say Nate, was I? Was talking about
Oh,
a
it's out of the
5-inch
bag now.
filter, a 5-inch pleated filter, which is, in my eyes, the best system because it allows good airflow, and it actually, you can change that filter every 3 months, or at least maybe get on a maintenance plan and let us change it every 6 months.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's what Nate was talking
I
about.
believe that is
in
what he
that
was
case.
discussing. And he made it sound like it's going to do a more effective job with better efficiency. Would that be correct?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
And it's really actually it's not very hard to understand. I mean, if you take a 1-inch filter,
Yeah.
that pleated filter, and if you were to just take it out of its box and you straighten it out, it's going to be, however big that is. It's going to maybe be
Couple inches more.
A couple inches.
Yeah.
If you take a 4-inch filter that has the same pleating,
Uh-huh.
and you do that exact same thing, and now it's feet more.
Yes, got it.
And so all
Okay.
you're doing is adding more
Surface
media
material.
Right.
Yeah.
to catch more stuff.
Okay.
And the more surface you have means the more airflow you get, even as it starts loading up with dirt.
Yeah.
So that's really the main difference between a 1-inch and a 4-inch.
Yeah. Okay, that's helpful.
I like the thicker filter because it allows me just to change it twice a year rather than monthly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Go for it.
So Josh, I want to know, why as a homeowner do you have a filter? What's the purpose, and why do you want a higher MERV rating?
Well, yeah, I guess for me, obviously, I think me and my daughter maybe have some seasonal allergies, and so I'm always aware of the fact that there's some times when it gets really dusty or pollen or whatever, and I'm hoping that it helps me to be able to breathe easier, not sneeze nearly as much. I think that's the primary reason that I want that higher MERV rating. Is that fair?
Yeah, the higher MERV rating, it's going to catch more things, and you're going to have a cleaner air. Also, a big component of that is it protects your system as that airflow goes across that coil.
Yeah, okay. Say a little bit about that, because I actually heard someone speak to that recently as well, saying that in as much as you think it's for you, it's also for the health of your entire system, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two purposes for a filter.
Yeah.
For us as HVAC and as your contractor, our primary purpose is to make sure that we're protecting the equipment.
Sure.
There's a coil there that we have to make sure it doesn't get all dirty.
Yeah.
If that gets dirty, all of a sudden it's going to create service issues for you. So that's our main chief concern.
Yeah.
The better we also keep airflow going through the system, the more efficient your system is going to operate
Got it.
also. So
Sure.
those are two key things that we're going to pay attention to. Once we start talking about your issues and we start bringing asthma and allergies and things
Sure.
like that, then we're going to look at things a little bit differently. And all of a sudden, when you talk about our needs can be handled with a 1-inch filter, cheapest thing that you can find at Home Depot. I mean,
Yeah.
you can go there, get the $6 one, and it's going to slide that thing in and change it every
Sure.
30 days, and you're going to be gold.
Right.
Makes sense.
But if you're trying to catch anything that's going to help keep the system cleaner, or you're going to try to catch things that are pollens, things like that,
Yeah.
you at that point, the knee jerk, and if you go into Home Depot, you're going to see all those filters. You're going to be like, oh, higher MERV rating.
That's it,
You just
right.
got done talking
Sure.
about that, right? Higher MERV ratings start killing us and our purpose.
Right.
Got it.
Higher MERV rating means a more dense fabric media,
Sure.
and that means that we're going to have less airflow over our coil.
Yeah.
So even though we're going to have a pristine, clean coil, which is one of our primaries, the airflow is going to suck.
Okay.
With that, your efficiency drops,
Okay.
and you can actually damage your equipment if you go too high.
Yeah.
And there are filters on that shelf at Home Depot that will damage your system, even though it says, this is the best filter on the market. You think
Yeah.
you're doing a good thing. You're paying $40 for a 1-inch filter. It says 3 months on it. Okay, be cautious. That's all I can say of that. That's most likely not a good fit.
Yeah.
We would never advise that here, right?
Yep, we would never advise it because,
Wow.
for one thing, if you don't have that airflow, that coil is going to turn into an ice cube.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Yep. So for your situation, and again, depends on the acuteness of it. So there would be different things that we would want to. First of all, you're on the right track. We need to take the MERV rating up.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to do that. But if we're gonna all of a sudden make the airflow more dense or the fabric more dense and start knocking the airflow down, what do we need to do? we need to add more fabric. We need to add more media.
Yeah.
So that's where the 4-inch filter comes into play.
Right.
Yeah.
You get more media to pass the
Makes
air
sense.
through. You can take the MERV rating up and make
Yeah.
it more dense.
Okay.
And then, for real cute things where we're really trying to manage it, you can get them, but those now become 9-inch thick filters.
Wow.
And a lot of times have electronics in them and things like that. The air scrubber that we talked about
That's
the other
right.
week becomes another player in
Yeah.
that situation.
help.
But if you're going to go higher MERV rating, you got to go thicker.
Wow. Well, hopefully this has been a helpful little dialogue today about it. Obviously, sometimes those filters are in easily accessible locations. Other times might be in an attic unit, not quite as easy.
Right.
But the Vertex service technicians are trained and prepared to help you with that. So make sure you're scheduling your annual tune-ups, your biannual tune-ups, so that we can get our service teams out there to care for your system as well as the filters. If you do have any questions about air filters or even what we discussed, putting in a 4-inch media filter, by all means reach out to us at contact@vertex-mechanical.com. We'll be able to help you with that. So thanks for joining us again this week. Don, thanks for being here with us.
You bet. It was fun.
It was great. And we will see you next week, same time. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Hey, thanks again for joining us today. As always, we hope you enjoyed your time with us and that you'll return again next week. And if you need to get a hold of us, just visit vertex-mechanical.com to call or email.